Hey guys, welcome back. Orbomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles. Today we're talking about this Tag Team Dark Box deck that I'm working on right now. I think it's a great deck. I think there's so much going on for Dark post-rotation, and I actually can't wait to profile this for you guys. So before we get into the video, don't forget to let me know you answered the comment question today. Thanks to our sponsor, Garden Gaming. You have a chance to get a couple codes. Thanks to our sponsors. And let me know answer the comment question today, which is going to be what's your favorite like dark type card that's out right now. There's so many good ones. So like, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you guys like the content, don't forget to drop a like. It's always greatly appreciated. It really helps out the content, especially these deck profiles. Definitely drop a like on these if you can. We're just going to get straight into this. So let's talk about the attackers. We got two Greninja Zoroark. Once again, searchable thanks to Cherish Ball. With an attack that is Dark Pulse. We've all seen Dark Pulse before. This attack does 30 more damage times the amount of Dark Energy attached to all your Pokemon. So obviously, if you get like 5 energies, you're hitting for 180. 5 energies is fairly easy to do. 6 to 10. In order to hit 270, you have to have 8, which is not actually that bad at all. 270 is a big number for Regizard, of course. And yeah, its GX attack is pretty interesting. We're not going to use it in this deck, but I mean, we could, in theory, use it in case of emergencies. Put 2 in any combination of Dark Pokemon GX or Dark Pokemon EX from your discard pile onto your bench. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it, attach 2 energies from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. So actually, if you need to attach 3 energies and ramp up 4 more energies to this Pokemon, you totally can do that. This is an option. We just don't play any evolution based like Incineroar or anything in this deck because we don't really need to. It's all about that consistency, baby. And now for a brand new card that I think is going to be really, really useful in making this deck as good as it is, and that is going to be Darkrai Umbreon Tag Team. Now I'm gonna go off the memory here, but I'm pretty sure I know what this card does. I'm actually almost positive. You guys can look it up if you guys like to. I'm trying my best to make these videos come out as quickly as possible so you don't see me editing in the cards like I used to, but it's fine. I'm pretty good at explaining it. It has 270 HP, weak to dark, resistant psychic, 2 retreat cost, yada yada yada. Its first attack does 150 and 60 damage to a bench GX or EX Pokemon. So pretty nice snipe, kind of crazy, really weakens things, put them in the range of these dudes. But the reason why we play this card is we're going to try to get that turn 1 GX attack anytime we go second. And that's going to, I forget what the attack is called, but for Colorless Energy, your opponent can't play any trainer cards on their hand next turn. So it's a really good way to like slow down your opponent. And then if you have 5 extra energies attached to this Pokemon, you take a knockout immediately. We're probably never going to use that secondary effect unless we absolutely need to, like if we're playing against decks that have too high HP or stalling or something like that. But like for the most part, it's just your way of like slowing down your opponent so that you have time to set up your board. This deck usually needs about 2 turns if you're going second, of course, because if you're going first, you can just attach your Greninja Zoroark and attack the following turn and you're fine. But if you're going second, you're obviously not going to be able to attack that turn unless you use this GX attack. So you want to spend time. God, I keep getting text messages. I wish I could turn that off, but I can't, not mid-recording. You want to take time to set up your Naganadels and your Greninja Zoroark to attack. So, and your Weavile and stuff like that. And speaking of Weavile, let's go ahead and show off the Weavile. We are playing a 2-2 line of Sneasel Weavile. Now, usually this is considered unsafe to play only 2, especially since there's no way to search out this basic in this deck. But because we're playing so much Turbo in this deck, I've been able to find Sneasel or Ditto like turn 1 almost every game, and oh my goodness, stop people. You guys probably don't hear the vibration, but it's annoying to me. So the Sneasel, I'm playing this one. I don't think there is a new Sneasel. I think we're just getting Weavile GX, but if there is a new Sneasel, I'll have to look into it. Right now, I'm just playing the Sneaky Smash one because I think it's a good one. But Weavile is what makes this deck kind of crazy. Its ability lets you move energies all across your board. You can move one dark energy from one Pokemon to another, and you can do that throughout the game as often as you like per turn. So it's just your way of going Naganadel, charge up, move all those energies to my main attacker, attack, yada yada, things like that. Move your energies to Pokemon that aren't going to be knocked out easily, stuff like that. So it's what makes this deck so good is the fact that you can move energies around. Its attack does a vanilla 130, which is not bad, and its GX attack, I believe, puts 2 basic Pokemon from your deck to your bench, which is actually not something to... that's actually not a bad attack because it helps you set up your board a lot more. You can get 2 Poipoles immediately, maybe 2 GX attackers, whatever you need. So it's very rare that you use this GX attack, but if you need to set up your board even further because you had a really bad early game, then it is definitely a really strong GX attack option to have. So there we go. There's a lot of glare there. I bet that's annoying. Ugh, look at that. That is ugly. That is ugly. Can we move that back there? There we go. That's fine. Let's talk about the rest of the Pokemon now. 3 Poipoles, 3 Nagas. We have Mysterious Treasure, so it's easy enough to get these dudes. These are what get your energies on the board. And for your 1-ofs, you got 1 Ditto, can become a Naga or a Weavile. We have 1 Dene to help put energies in the discard pile and overall just help make this deck run as smoothly as possible. And then probably one of my favorite attackers in this deck, Mega Sableye Tyranitar Tag Team GX. So let's talk about its perks. It's got 280 HP, which is already really useful because that actually makes yourself out of range of a lot of Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon are trying to knock out cards like Reshizard and stuff like that. And Reshizard, which is like the pinnacle of competitive Pokemon. So if they can't hit those numbers to OHKO you, then you can usually get 2 or 3 knockouts with this card. And the reason why this card is so cool is because you have that 1 attack here, 210 HP. If you're taking a knockout on a GX or EX Pokemon, you can take an extra prize card. That's a ridiculous effect. That means that if you're playing against decks like Bucephalon, then you are fine. Knocking out Bucephalon is the same thing as knocking out a tag team, which is huge because your opponent, the reason why they play Bucephalon against tag teams is so they can trade well. Not only is it hard for them to OHKO you in return, but you're also taking 3 prizes, which is absurd. And then its GX attack is the biggest high roll, biggest like, oh, I win this game no matter what GX attack ever. First of all, you hit 250 for 5, which is definitely a really good number to hit because it's actually really hard to hit 250 in this deck. So having that option is good for you. And then if you have 5 extra energies attached to this dude, you can discard the top 15 cards from your opponent's deck. So being able to mill your deck out of 1/4 of all the cards they play is ridiculous. Regardless of whether it wins you the game or you mill them out completely, that's not the point. The point is you're getting rid of 15 options from your opponent, which is absurd. It's like no matter what, it's like almost impossible to come back from something like that. Getting 10 energies on a Mega Tyranitar, kind of impossible. But it's a GX attack that can almost immediately win you the game because by the time it's late game, they probably don't have a lot of cards left in their deck. So like, it's ridiculously powerful. It's so cool. But that's going to be all the Pokemon here. I feel like as soon as I started recording this Dark video, I had like a million people message me about work, about oh my god, I have to deal with that later. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the trainers here. Yeah, we got 4 treasure. These Ultra Balls were supposed to be Cherish Balls, so let me grab these Cherish Balls right here. Yeah, different sleeves, but ignore that, right? Yeah, just for the sake of the video, so nobody asks questions. 4 Cherish Ball. 4 Pokegear. Let's move this to the side now. We got 4 Acro Bike, which is pretty huge in this deck. 2 Switch, because the goal is to try to get that turn 1 Darkrai, so having these switches are pretty useful. Not to mention get out of paralysis and sleep and whatnot. It's not a bad card at all. And then 1 Reset Stamp. Another card that only plays 1 Reset. Another deck that only plays 1 Reset Stamp. I'm trying to play more than just 1 Reset Stamp in the deck. But yeah, the deck is pretty self-explanatory. You play the Ultra Balls, or you play the Cherish Balls to get your GXs and the Treasures to get your Nagas. So you have search for everything that you need. And not to mention your Turbo as crazy because you're playing Dedenne, you're playing Acro Bike. You're thinning thanks to Forest and thanks to Treasure. Like you're doing a pretty good job as far as like getting all the cards you need throughout the deck. It feels very much like current rotation. You're just not playing Ultra Ball. As far as supporters go, 4 Cynthia and 4 Lily. That's it. Nothing else. This deck does not play any Gust, so there's no counter catcher of any kind or custom catcher or whatever you want to call it. So right now, it's all about just attacking what's in front of you. Thanks to cards like Naganadel that can hit knockouts on some non-GX Pokemon, especially when you're at 3 prizes. The fact that you're fat HP, so you can switch between your multiple Dark Pokemon. And the fact they have Mega Tyranitar that can take 3 prizes or even 4 prizes against a lot of Pokemon. You're not too worried. All you gotta do is set up your board and go. As far as stadiums go, we are playing 3 Viridian Forest. You really need to get those dark energies both in your hand and in your discard pile every turn for Naga and for manual attachments, because you really want to get as many energies on the board as possible, because that's what's going to ramp up and win the game for you. And of course, what's a dark deck without Black Market? Kind of ridiculous when this thing can stick, making your tag team deck feel like a regular GX deck. Very, very good card. And then everything else, this video is going to be kind of short, but it's fine. Everything else is just energies. We got 4, 8, 12 energies. The deck is very straightforward. Set up your Pokemon, attach energies, win the game. We're only playing 12. I want to play more so I can pull off that Tyranitar GX attack more often. But, I mean, like, you can still pull it off with this deck. It's not impossible by any means. I just haven't done it yet. Actually, you know what? That's not true. In one of the videos that we recorded with Kate, who was playing the matchup, she did pull it off to win the game. But unfortunately, the deck did get, the video did get corrupted, and it was wild. I was like, well, I just auto lost this game because of that. So something to keep in mind. There's some really, really cool options with this deck, and you can just play pretty much any dark type attacker, preferably ones that you can search. So GX ones in this deck, and they can attack thanks to Weavile Naga combination. So I love this deck. I think this deck is super fun. It's Naga. Think of it like Nagaquag, but less good non-GX attackers, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's gonna be the deck, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think it's time for the Dark Post. It's literally because of, if it wasn't for this card here, I feel like you'd have a pretty shaky Blacephalon matchup. But the fact that you have this card here, being able to take 3 prizes off of Blacephalon, sometimes they can't even return KO it, especially, oh my god, it's ridiculous. This card's so cool. Anyways, that's gonna be the deck, guys. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, all that just good jazz, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another matchup. Peace.